So today in Stadia news, we have the biggest game to be rated for Stadia in 2022, and it's a good one. Also, we finally have confirmation of the new white labeling partner, and it's a gaming publisher, and that game is now live. I tested it out, and we're going to talk about it. As always, thumbs up for the algorithm so we can find more Stadia gamers. So the newest Saints Row, guys, has been rated for Stadia on the ESRB. And while this isn't an official confirmation of the game coming to Stadia just yet, it's really about as close as it gets. The big question will be, will the game come day and date alongside other platforms? But nonetheless, this is a great sign to see the newest iteration. We do have the other Saints Row titles on Stadia right now, so for me this is a natural progression to see the newest title as you play the future boss that forms the Saints poised to take over the town Los Panteros. The game is going back to its roots of crime as you form up a startup company that is in the business of doing nefarious deeds to get ahead. If you guys aren't familiar with the Saints Row franchise, it's very much a sandbox title that pretty much lets you explore a pretty big open world, and you're taking on missions and essentially doing whatever mayhem that you want to create. With seemingly most AAA games this year really getting delayed until 2023, I mean, it's happening all over the place, which I honestly think is the cause of COVID the past few years finally catching up. This one actually has a firm release date of August 23rd this year, so that's just a few months away. Of course, anything can happen, anything can change, and we still need that official confirmation, but this would mark the biggest game to drop on Stadia this year, and I suspect we'll see some other big titles to drop as well, but for now, this is the closest proof to finally seeing that. I'm excited personally. I will be covering this game fully. I've actually been paying very close attention to this game for a while, so from all signs and things that I have discovered about this game, Saints Row, I really think this is going to be the best in the franchise. It looks a lot bigger, it looks a lot more ambitious, but of course we'll have to see as this gets closer to release. Now jumping to our next story. Now if you guys remember some weeks ago when Dom, head of immersive stream for games at Google, mentioned that they would unveil their new partner, well, it looks like we know who that is. It's none other than Capcom, the gaming publisher. Now this is the makers of the Resident Evil franchise, Monster Hunter as well. Well, it looks like Resident Evil, on the Resident Evil website, they have launched a full demo of Resident Evil Village powered by Stadia, or technically powered by immersive stream for games, but it's using Stadia tech. Now I actually got my hands on this and it's playable to all of you as well, though keep in mind these are the countries that are supported. I'll go ahead and list them here on the screen, but it works great. It's 1080p, it's playable with keyboard and mouse, which was nice for me. Also, you can use an Xbox and PlayStation controller. I'm not sure if it's playable with a Stadia controller. I had been hearing that it's not, so that's something very interesting, but it does look like it supports most browsers. Another curious aspect here is there's no time limit on this demo, so it looks like you can maybe do quite a bit with this one. But the broader question, of course, is what does this mean for Stadia? Well, I actually think this is a good thing. For one, that means that there's a great partnership here with Google. Even if it's using immersive stream for games, that's never a bad thing at the negotiating table when you want to discuss bringing future Capcom games to Stadia. At the very same time, over a year ago, there was a leak from Capcom that showed deals that were being made, or deals that were made with Google and Stadia. One of them was that we were set to see the Resident Evil games, and we did get those games with Resident Evil 7 and Village. But also, one thing people forget is that there was also something in those leaks that not a lot of people talked about, and it was that Monster Hunter, a Monster Hunter game, was supposed to head to Stadia as well, a future new Monster Hunter game. And if Stadia has already paid for that port, it would make sense that this partnership continues, even if it's with immersive stream for games, and hopefully that Monster Hunter game is still headed for Stadia at some point. So for me, this was actually very positive to see, guys. I'll have a link below if you guys want to play this yourself, and if you guys want to play the Resident Evil Village demo. With that, guys, go ahead and click that video on the top right if you want to see a list of the best Stadia games you should play in 2022.